3 months ago I set up a little experiment on algae in jars. I then tried various treatment methods to see what was most effective. If you didn't see the original video, I'll put a link at the end of this one. But in the 3 months since, an interesting thing has happened. The algae has disappeared from all the jars, no matter what treatment method was used. Meanwhile, there's quite a bit of algae growing up in my larger pond. And that's probably got something to do with all the visiting ducks at this time of year. But anyway, today I just wanted to quickly share with you why I think all the algae has disappeared, or is disappearing, and ultimately what I think is the best way to combat algae. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Kev, and my aim is to help people build and maintain their ponds without spending a fortune. If that sounds like something that interests you, you might like to subscribe and visit my website, Ozponds.com. So the first thing is, and it might just be that the algae I use doesn't like the cold, it's currently winter here in Australia. I have made a video before explaining how at different times of year it's quite common for algae to appear or disappear. Algae is very diverse and there's many different types. It's also very opportunistic and it's going to grow whenever it can if conditions are right. So perhaps for this particular type of algae, the conditions right now just aren't right. I collected the water from one of my ponds and the algae from my smallest mini pond. Both collection points had plenty of life to begin with, and now most of the jars have a colony of Daphnia, at least I think they're Daphnia. These are little filter feeders. They mostly like single-celled algae, but they eat detritus and really any organic waste. I'm pretty sure there's going to be other microscopic life in there, but these are the guys that I can see with the naked eye. So having lots of filter feeders with no predators is also going to help reduce the nutrient levels inside the jars. The jars also have no fish, so there's no additional nutrients being added. They also don't have much debris getting into them. In our ponds we end up with leaf material, fish waste, uneaten food, dust and pollen. All these things can add nutrient into the water and that helps algae to grow. That's why we aim to have a good filter to deal with the natural cycle of nutrients through the system. And the jars don't have a filter or any moving water, but they're undercover, they're still in the sun, but they don't get a lot of debris falling into them. So maybe the algae simply consume the nutrients and the little microorganisms multiplied and they essentially recycled the nutrients into their little bodies. This is another reason why, along with a good filter, I like to create a complete ecosystem. Another thing you might notice is that the water is various different colours in the jars. The jar with the plants is the darkest because the plants have also died. Again, that indicates that there is a lack of nutrient. The darker water is because of all that broken down organic material. The diatomics jar is also brown because the solution that I added was brown, and also the diatom growth can make the water appear brown. The blue in the algicide jar is again the colour of the treatment. The clearest jars are the sodium bicarbonate, bacteria and substrate jars. The shrimp jar doesn't count as I removed the shrimp after the initial month-long experiment. I felt bad for them in the small jar. I'm guessing the sodium bicarbonate jar is quite clean because the treatment vaporised the algae, so there isn't really any decaying organic material. The bacteria has also stayed nice and clear. Maybe the heavy dose of bacteria simply ate the algae and didn't leave any organic material, or maybe it's the other enzymes and clarifiers that were in the treatment. I'm not too sure. The substrate jar is also very clear, which is kind of cool because I always like to add substrate to my ponds. Maybe the bacteria because of the additional surface area, maybe it's a more diverse range of microorganisms that were living on the substrate. Again, I'm not totally sure. And I don't know if my musings are helpful or just the ramblings of a crazy person, but I feel like this experiment reconfirms the beliefs that I already had. Number 1, algae is natural and it's just going to come and go. Number 2, having a diversity of life from bacteria, tiny organisms, plants, algae, fish, even predators removing nutrient, it's all ingredients for a more robust and easy to maintain pond. And number 3, you still need to have filtration in some form or fashion. That might be plants, it might be substrate, it might be a bog filter, it might be a store-bought filter, or it might be all of them. But whatever you choose, it needs to be appropriate to your pond and the desired outcome. As I mentioned, these jars had no nutrients being added to them. In most ponds, this isn't the case. If I dump a bunch of fish food in a jar, I can easily make it go green and nasty. It's just nature dealing with the nutrients. And lastly, number 4, nature takes time. You need patience. Like in my larger pond that's growing algae right now, in winter. 3 months ago, I couldn't find any algae. But now the plants are dormant, and the bacteria are too, or operating very slowly. Meanwhile, the ducks are making a real mess. The natural processes that can deal with this additional nutrient have all slowed down. But the algae's fine, and it says, I'll consume it. In spring, the water will warm up, the plants will grow, the bacteria will kick into gear, and slowly but surely, the algae will disappear. I'm not worried at all. And I know the way I keep my ponds isn't for everyone, but if it resonates with you, feel free to visit ozponds.com. I hope you found something in this video useful. If you did, give the thumbs up button a tickle, and thanks for watching. See ya.